Please stay standing. And turn to page 27. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Please turn as we begin the Shema and its blessings. Page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand, uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the borders of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. You may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech u'shofbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam amizuzot beitecha uvisharecha Leman tizkaru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'hitem kiddoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lichiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha. Page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise as we sing Tefillah. You may be seated. I'm on page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answers to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha livadcha b'yirah na'avod. We may now take some time for silent meditation. Now comes the time after we have rested our minds and our hearts to think about others as they struggle with pain, anxiety, sickness. And if those of you online could put the names of your loved ones who you are healing, who are praying for healing. I will read the names on our list here and then ask you to call out those people who you are thinking of at this time. We ask for healing for Jess Weinberg, Dolores Spector, Michael Cohen, Julian Garcia, Simchat Bat Ruben Saralea, Randy Hoffman, Bob Harris, and Sharon Greenwald.
Bob Novick.
Julian.
Thank you. I would like to welcome the president of the congregation, who will be teaching us tonight. Stuart?
Thank you, Ellen. Parsha Shalach Lecha. Numbers 13:1 to 15:41. This week we read in the Parsha that God asks Moses to send 12 emissaries, one chieftain from each tribe of Israel, to scout the land of Canaan, which God gives to the Israelites. The people included the generation of Israelites that God led out of the land of Egypt. God was ready to lead them further into the land of milk and honey. But when the scouts returned 40 days later, out of the 12 chieftains, only Joshua and Caleb recommended that the Israelites enter. The other 10 resist, fearing that the people that inhabit Canaan were too powerful, giants among grasshoppers. They cried out for the umpteenth time, convinced that God must have deserted them. For why else would anyone believe that Canaan was worthy of inhabiting? Efforts by Moses, Aaron, and Joshua are unsuccessful in convincing the Israelites that the Eternal would still be with them in the promised land. When Moses reports back to God, God becomes incensed. God commands that only Joshua and Caleb will be permitted to enter the promised land. Everyone else was relegated to the wilderness for 40 more years, 1 year for each day that the scouts spent scouting the land. It reminds me of a recent study published in Psychology Today. Worried that their twin boys, 5 or 6 years old, had developed extreme personalities, one was a total pessimist and the other a total optimist, their parents took them to a psychiatrist. First, the psychiatrist treated the pessimist. Trying to brighten his outlook, the psychiatrist took him to a room piled to the ceiling with brand new toys. But instead of expressing his excitement, the little boy cowered in a corner, disinterested in interacting with any of the toys. Next, the psychiatrist observed the optimist. Trying to dampen his outlook, the psychiatrist took him into a room full of horse manure. But instead of wrinkling his nose in disgust, the boy climbed to the top of the pile, dropped to his knees, and began to feverishly dig through his way into the pile of manure with his bare hands. "What are you doing?" the psychiatrist cried, just as baffled as the optimist as he had been about the pessimist. "With all this manure," the little boy replied, "there's got to be a pony in here somewhere." Shalach Lecha isn't as instructive as this story. Why were the emissaries so pessimistic when they could see with their own eyes that Canaan was full of brand new, shiny toys? Why were Joshua and Caleb the only two who saw through the concerns and focused on the positive? Put yourself in the Parsha. Assume that you were one of the scouts. Yes, you have to admit from your personal observation that Canaan is full of milk and honey, full of clusters of grapes so large that they had to be carried back to camp on a frame held by 2 of the scouts, pomegranates and figs galore. But do you fear defeat even knowing that God has always been with you, by your side since before your people left Israel? Would you have questioned your faith in God? Would you have been the optimist or the pessimist? When we question God, which all of us do at stressful times in our lives, we reveal a lack of faith. But faith is the eternal bedrock in Judaism. Without it, we too would wallow in sorrow and self-doubt. Let us all strive to emulate Joshua and Caleb. Let's all dig right through that proverbial manure. Once we do, milk and honey will be our reward.
Thank you. If you turn to page 5, and stand for Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahavav ratzon hinhilanu zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh zecher liziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'chata v'yotanu kidasha mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahavav ratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Please stay standing and turn to page 282 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, lateitiu lo liyotzeh reshit, shelo asanu k'mayei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo samtem k'nukavim, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu krovim, v'shavinu modim, lifnei melech malchei hamelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar le'aya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz, hayom hahu yigei Adonai echad, u'shemo Please be seated. $290. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us and who have died in years past, in this season, and whom we draw into our hearts with our own. We remember those who have passed within the 30 days, Nathan Luger, Bernard Lauterbach, Charlene Abrams, Martha Troyer, Doris Gluck, Gail Gluck Leventon, Donald Weinberg, and Gloria Crone has passed, and her funeral service is pending. And those who have gone in seasons past, we remember Lillian Aronson, Harry Barnett, Max Blecker, Pauline Ullman Blumenthal, Miriam Borshaw, Harry Brand, Maria Chiares, David Cohen, Raymond Cohen, Vivian Korn, Rebecca Post Duran, Donald B. Fertel, Samuel Robert Fleischer, Edmund Given, Larry A. Gladstone, Jerome Glass, Aaron Goodman, Amelia Goodman, Sarah B. Goodman, Carolyn Rosenberg Hirsch, Albert B. Horwitz, Bernice Isaacs, Nisim Max Intebi, Jess A. Joseph, Martha Goodman Katz, Bernard Kaufman, Florine Klein, Henrietta Etta Alfman Cobran, Irma Ullman Levy, Wolf Lukowitz, Ron Marks, Max Meyer, Mildred Mirip, Barbara Jean Myers, Elda Perez Ochoa, Ida A. Oppenheim, Bertha Polstein, Rosalie Riven, Manuel Rodriguez, Alexander Schachner, Marcella Shapiro, Gertrude Berger Schweitzer, Bernard Spitz, Charles Stein, Gerald Seth Tate, Pauline G. Turk, Joanna Alfman-Tusch, Henrietta Weiss, Sam Weiss, Fernando Aristoteles Yates, Joseph Sidney Yannick, and Gerald Zeidman. And for those of you online, if you would like to add the names of people that you are remembering on their Kaddish Shabbat, please write them in. And everyone please rise together to say Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yimechon uv'chayet kol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kori v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'olmei omaya, yitbarach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birachata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiram b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. You're seated. Again, we ask Stuart to come and tell us what looks ahead, what lies ahead this week.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks everybody for being here. I'd like to thank Vladik Kranovich for greeting us today. Lori Gaiman, a past president, thank you for all you do for Temple and continue to do. We're so appreciative. Shir Hadash, beautiful music. Thank you so much for your participation. Stephen Jackson, Elvira Spector, thank you as well. And Andrew Cabrera for assisting us in the back. I'd like to thank our Shabbat sponsors, Major General Kaczynski in Major Gabriel Kaczynski in honor of the Jewish war veterans, the Stevens family in honor of the Jewish war veterans, Patricia Soway in honor of Bruce Gordon being inducted into the El Paso Athletic Hall of Fame posthumously. Our Beam of Flowers sponsors Marion Garmel, Evelyn Fox, Sam Simon, and Sue Pickens Owens in memory of Jonna Tush and Etta Coburn. The Zeidman family in memory of Gerald Zeidman. Gerald and Stanley Rubin in memory of Carolyn Hirsch. Robert and Eddie Treviso in memory of Manuel Rodriguez. Becky and Keith Myers in memory of Barbara Jean Myers. Mark and Dory Finnenbach in memory of Judith Rubin. Sebastian Vargas in memory of Maria Chaires. And Peggy and Chuck Coban in memory of Sam Weiss. And our Kiddush sponsors, Bonnie Colton in memory of Ed Given, the Stevens family in honor of Matt Stevens, and Debbie Trejo and Jeremy Wolf in memory of Paul Wolf. We will have Torah study tomorrow at 9:30 in person in the boardroom, not via remote, and followed by Shabbat services in person and online at 10:30. There is a Saturday luncheon. The post commander, Scott and Bonnie Stevens, will provide a Kiddush lunch for all in attendance. The Jewish War Veterans Department of Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma Commander, Ron Sivernell, will make a brief speech during our Shabbat service. Don't forget, coming up July 1, next Friday, we have an Independence Shabbat dinner. After services, please RSVP. We need those ASAP, RSVP, ASAP. It's $5 per person. I know it's a lot of money, but we'll make it happen. And of course, the Temple Jewish Food Festival on July 31st from 12 to 8. It should be a wonderful time. Please come out and join us. If you'd like to volunteer, we'd still like to offer volunteer opportunities, and we could sure use your help. Keep an eye out for more information. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat.
We end this beautiful evening on page 343, Oziv V'Zimrat Yah. My strength is balanced with the song of God, which will be my salvation. Please rise. We will be having a quick Kiddush and mostly outside in the, on the porch, on the courtyard. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Just love it.
Beautiful job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.